Hi there. My name is Mark Decker, and this is my I Believe speech. So, I'm at a point in my life where I have been forced to confront my own mortality. And I believe that we need to leave the world a better and kinder place than we found it. Now, that is more than just the saying or the sign you see at the park that says take only pictures and leave only footprints. Although I do believe that is part of it, as taking care of Mother Nature is part of the way to make the world a better place, as far as I'm concerned. But it has more to do for me with fairness in general, in society. I think that societies in the future will be judged based on how they have treated their poorest and lowest socioeconomic status citizens. These systems in America are rigged. They just are. If you've ever looked into history or sociology, that becomes abundantly clear. The systems have been created to keep the rich people rich and the poor people poor. And that is something, if we wish to have a more hopeful future, we need to change. Otherwise, this continued spike in CEO salaries, while the frontline workers are barely making enough to survive, sometimes not even that. Even as an LPN, this hit me recently, forcing me to give up my apartment and move in with some friends because I couldn't afford rent anymore, even with a license and a full-time job. And I realized that the system is just rigged against us right now. So we need to kind of take back control. I mean, of course, this involves political action. You need to look at healthcare as one place. So I also believe that healthcare should be freely available. It should be likely single payer. And I understand that it needs to be done carefully because there is a place for corruption to come up in any government project. So the regulations and the watching the watchers must be very strong. However, nobody should be forever in debt because they got sick. And if you're too poor to afford health insurance, well, you're probably working multiple jobs. Those multiple jobs cause a huge amount of increased stress, and then you're more prone to cardiac disease, cancer, and other disorders, and they will give you the health care. They're not just going to let you die in the street, but then you get the bill and you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. There's people who will beg the ambulance not to take them to the hospital. I stopped at an accident several years ago where a guy tried to cross the street and in the wrong place and got hit and most likely had a broken pelvis. But he was begging to not be taken to the hospital, even though he couldn't walk because his hips were almost certainly broken because he couldn't afford it. And I don't want to live in that country, if I'm being completely honest. We also have to look at education. The disparity in education quality, even within a district, can be huge. Every school child in America should have access to the same quality of education, the same technology, the same books, the same excellent teachers. We need to pay those teachers more because they shouldn't be struggling paycheck to paycheck either. They shouldn't be paying for class supplies out of their own pockets. We need to have higher expectations and higher pay, and those just need to go together. And I also think childcare is part of this as well, especially if you want both parents working. I mean, 40 years ago, one person holding a single job could afford a house and feed a family of at least four on one income, on one job, and that is no longer possible at all. I mean, around here, houses that a couple of years ago were $100,000 houses are now $300,000, and just kind of sitting around waiting for this bubble to burst. We need to reform our taxes. The tax law is rigged very strongly. I mean, we see Donald Trump only paid $750 in taxes per year, and that's more than he makes so much more than me, but I pay more than him in taxes. How is that even remotely fair? It's just the system is rigged, and we need to do something about it if we wish to make the world a better place. And so, In the words of Terry Pratchett, no one is actually dead until the ripples they leave behind fade away. And so, help your fellow man and be kind to each other and promote fairness. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.